What is up, prop trading, swing trading, and all type of trading family? My name is Forrest. I invest in stuff. I'm a day trader. So the trailing drawdown, you're worried about it. People are asking me about it all the time. In this video, I'm going to review the price action on Friday and show you how you could have made a significant chunk of change even with the trailing drawdown and really how you should properly deal with this. Guys, it's not as hard as you think. I think people overcomplicate trading all the time. It is not easy by any means. So I'm not one of those people who's going to be like, oh yeah, it's super easy. No, trading takes a long time. It might take you a year to get good at it, but I'm going to show you some of the fundamental core concepts about trading in general and how you can apply those to your prop firm account. Now, real quick, not going to spend too much time on this. Apex is having a 90% sale. I just did a video talking about how you can think of these accounts as leverage. It's how we think about them in our Discord. Nonetheless, if you're looking for a prop account, Apex is great. You can use my code down below in the description to get 90% off on that account. But let's go ahead and open up the charts and take a look at Friday's price action. Awesome. So real quick, you can see I'm almost to 3,000 subscribers, guys. I've had an amazing amount of growth thanks to each and every one of you who has joined me on this journey. Do not take it for granted. I've been doing this for a while now, so I definitely appreciate it. We've had people posting great profits, and that is just a testament, I think, to the community, really, not just my channel. But yeah, if you could do me a solid by subscribing to my channel, I appreciate it. Give me over that 3,000 subscriber hump. And of course, if you have any questions, hit me up in the Discord. We have a free chat. Discord is paid, but there's a free chat. You can just find me there. We're very responsive. We'll even help you there, guys, free of charge. Ultimately, I do this as a passion. Let's go ahead and jump into the chart. So if you're brand new to trading, you're not familiar with what this is, this video might be a little bit more extensive than what you're used to due to feedback I've gotten a lot of guys. I don't want to take anything for granted or assume that you know anything, right? So I'm going to be much more explanatory in some of these videos just to make sure that I don't lose anybody along the way. So on the screen, what we have right here is Trading View. If you don't know what Trading View is, it's just a charting tool. So there's different types of tools. There's charting tools. There's actual brokerage tools where you can execute trades. And there's different analysis tools, say, to look at options flow. If all that's very confusing, just know that Trading View is probably the best charting tool. And charting is just the activity of looking at price action and then drawing lines. Those lines help us ultimately make trading decisions. Cool. So we're looking at Trading View. This is a template that I have. It just has ES on a bunch of different time frames. So I have the 3-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, the 4-hour, 8-hour, the daily, and the weekly. Some of these higher ones, I swap around a bit. I'll go up to the monthly. We're going to focus on the 15-minute. So the 15-minute is where I execute most of my trades and is really where I'm primarily making my trading decisions. It's probably a mix of the 15-minute, the 5-minute, and the 4-hour. I know those seem arbitrary, but they're not. They're just the ones that give me the best signals. The 4-hour, if you execute a trade on the 4-hour, it's a much higher quality trade than on the lower time frame, for example. Same for higher in general, but we won't get too much into that. Let's go ahead and take a look at just the 15-minute price action. So I'm going to select my 15-minute chart. I'm going to go to the bottom right and expand it. There's a few things on my screen. We're going to clean this up. We're going to remove all the indicators for now. That's not what I wanted to do. That removes the drawings. What is hide all drawings? We'll just do this the old-fashioned way. Sorry, I'm kind of an old man with my software, guys. Don't hate me. So this is probably what you're used to seeing. It's just the price and the volume on the bottom. Price action bars, volume. Here's an alert here for ES crossing this. We'll just get rid of that we'll leave that on for now. So there was a really interesting thing that happened, right? If we just look at this price action naked chart, there's no EMAs or anything here. We're very clearly in a range. And you're probably wondering, Forrest, what do you mean? Well, if we zoom back, we can see that there's this huge green, and then we went sideways a bit, green, and now we're going sideways. So we're very clearly in a range. How do you define the range? How would I define this range? Well, I can see that there's a low point here. It's pretty close to a low point here. So I'll do option H. We'll call that the bottom of the range. And I see that there's a high point here, another high point close by, really in the middle of these two high points. So we'll put another one there. Now, there might be other ranges that you would identify here. Let's get rid of that alert for now for the sake of clarity. I can redraw it later. That you might draw here, but that's not important. You're going to end up with multiple different levels. If I add in some of the other things that I had on the screen, like the volume profile, that helps me define, my range for the actual session. But we're inside of this 4-day range, like 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different days inside of this range here. And I'll do a vertical line going back to Tuesday to kind of show what I'm talking about. So that's the start of the range. And then it's Sunday right now, right? The market opens at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time going into the week. Hasn't opened yet because I'm recording this at 11:50 a.m. So this is the range that we have. Let's look at what happened right around here. So in this price area, you see that we had some serious chop. This is the 15-minute chart, right? So this was about, if you do a shift click, you can see the change in price and time as you scroll around. This is 23 bars or 5 hours and 45 minutes of chop. Now this was overnight chop. You can see that this is from 1 a.m. to about 6:45 a.m. And then when we got to this price area again on Friday, right above it, as we wicked into it, you can see that there was some chop. So let me draw some lines here to make this clear. So this is the top of the chop here. I'll do Alt J. This is the bottom of the chop. And then we wicked into it. Now, this probably isn't the primary thing I'm looking for, but it's an area of confluence that I was looking at on Friday for why we're wicking out of this price area here. I'm sure if I added the volume profile, we would see some other things, but I really just want to focus on price action for this video because that was the primary read. It was a very low volume Friday. We had increasingly descending volume. Right, there wasn't really a strong read outside of the price action. The price action was actually a great read for us to take this long out of the lows here, coming up into almost the high of the day. So what we got here was a rejection, right? This is the opening candle. You can see here on the bottom of the screen, it says 930. If you look at the vertical line where my cursor is at the bottom of the screen, it says 930. That's a 930 candle. It wicked right off of this 45.1475 line that I just drew. Did another candle, came up, small bodied green, then another red candle, wicked right off of the bottom of this. So at this point in time, and I'll do an option V here. So right at 10 a.m., right, this candle, this red candle, I'll do it again. Whoops. Right at this candle, I should be thinking that we want to reject this price action. We just did 2 bottom wicks. Now you can see that we chopped for a very long time, a very, very long time. And actually what happened was on the 5-minute chart, I was looking for a double bottom. So we had this low volume grind up. We switched to the 5-minute really quickly. We can see here what this looks like. So we had this low volume kind of higher highs and higher lows. So here we had a higher high here, higher high here. Really hard to draw an X with trackpad with this thing. We had a higher high right there, higher high right there, and then a higher low here and a higher low here. This price action is kind of like a a megaphony pattern, right? So here, and then you could do it another one kind of like here. You can see that it's broadening like this, kind of like a megaphone, right? You could also do it just off the lows, these actual bottom wicks here. Doesn't really matter. You get a megaphone either way. So I'm expecting this to break to the bottom side of this megaphone if we're looking for continuation here, right? We had red go into the shape and we get our double bottom. We get our double bottom right here at 11:05. Now I switched from the 15-minute to the 5-minute chart. So we're looking at 5-minute candles now. That's why this is lower. So I called this actually live in the Discord. I said, hey guys, we're going to get a double bottom. And then with the amount of bottom wicks that I'm seeing on the higher time frames, I'm expecting us to go all the way up through like VWAP or almost to the high of the day or the opening. So our opening candle was way up here. We didn't quite, that's 8:40, 9 a.m. This is our 9 a.m. candle right here, right? We opened at 45.3175. So we actually did get there, but that's what I called. I said double bottom and then return to kind of the open or high of the day. Pre-market highs were up here, but we definitely did get the high of the day, which really was like the opening price. So that's what I'm looking for at that point in time. And what really where the confirmation came from was on the 30-minute. So let's go to the 30-minute. The 30-minute chart on Friday, guys. Look at this. Look at this. So specifically this. Look at this. We have a lot of long-bodied or long bottom wicks on the higher time frames consecutively. And so what this tells me is a very, very high probability that we're going to move away from this price area because anytime we dig into it, it gets bought up on the higher time frames. It's kind of hard to see you in the chop on the shorter time frames. On the 30-minute, it becomes very, very clear that they do not want to go down through this price. So they're retesting all these bottom wicks. That's something that we talked about in this session, that they're very likely to retest all of these bottom wicks because they've been doing that really on every time frame. They're retesting bottom wicks, smoking people's stops. We're not getting in at a good price. But in general, that was also the additional confirmation that I needed for this double bottom because they've been retesting these bottom wicks. I'm like, I don't think they're going to move this away fast. I think they're going to retest it again. So they retested it again. And then we eventually moved away from this price. And so if you would have taken that one trade that I called, I had a long at 45.1550. I did make a mistake, which I also called out live, and I sold too soon. Ended up only getting a few points out of this long. And then I took another long on NQ. So I sold this long too soon for like 10 points instead of holding for like 20, 15. And then I took an NQ long, which I also sold too soon. So I have to work on that as a trader. That's fine. I got impatient because I was doing other work in addition to trading. The play that I called and that a few other people took, Soul did an amazing job. It's a guy, he live streams every day in our Discord. He did an amazing job of holding this throughout the entire session on NQ and ended up getting like 70 points, right? So let's take a breath and think about this. You had to wait for a serious amount of time here, at least in till 11 a.m., right? 11 or 11:30. You take a long, you get that one long. If you do it on ES and actually hold to that price target or to the high of the day, you're getting 19.25 points. So if you did that with one ES, you're making right under $1,000 in one trade by trading on the higher time frames. And I've talked about this in many different videos. There's two main ideas here. One, the money that you make or lose is purely a factor of leverage in trading. It is. You can argue with me about that. I'm not going to argue back. That's just what I believe, and it's fundamental to what I'm going to say next. So long as you focus on identifying a trade, you can decide how much you make or lose, right? Which goes into risk management. We talk about managing risk. Really, for people who are doing prop firms at least, or if you're a small account trader, which a lot of people are, if you only have a couple $1,000, you cannot blow up your account. You absolutely cannot blow up your account. And so how do you deal with all of those concepts that I just mentioned? How do you deal with actually making a good nominal amount of money? And by nominal, I mean money that you actually care for. You don't want to spend all day trading and make $25, right? You want to actually make like maybe $100. It'd be nice to make $100 a day and grow your account from $2,000 to $3,000 in 10 days. Do $100 every day. You could do that. And that's huge if you have a small account, right? It's a huge amount of money. It's life-changing money for a lot of people. And those are the people that I'm really talking to and that I want to help, right? You can do that by trading on the higher time frames. You can not worry about the trailing threshold, which is a big premise of one of the questions I want to answer in this video, by trading on the higher time frames. By being patient, waiting for setups on the 30-minute or the 1 hour or higher, you can find these trades with a lot of confirmation, right? This is a very easy read. This is an A setup trade, guys. Let's go to NQ really quick. So we'll switch over to NQ. This is the NQ chart. Exact same price action. We retested all these bottom wicks. We went from here and ended up being about 115 points. Now I mentioned that sold, got about 70 points out of this. I sold too soon. I think I got 35 points out of my trade, if I recall correctly. 30 to 35, I can't remember. So I sold way too soon. I sold like right in here. My entry wasn't perfect though. I did not have an entry at the exact bottom. My entry was like around 40 or something like that, right? And I sold when we got up to like the first like standard deviation band or something, which I'm not applauding any of that right now. We're not going to dig into that. You cannot worry about the trailing threshold by trading just one contract or micros, right? And just holding. And you will make way more money across multiple sessions than people who are doing high leverage scalps, right? If you do a high leverage scalp with like 4 or 5 NQ, that's 5 NQ is $100 a point. But if we're retesting all these bottom wicks, you're going to get smoked. You're going to blow up that trailing threshold. But if you trade one contract, see what the length of these candles are. Candles about $50. So your max drawdown on today actually would have been pretty high. It would have been right under $1,000. But you have $2,500 of trailing on these accounts. You would have been able to hold that one NQ, even with that like $800 or so, $900 or so of drawdown, and you eventually would have made, if you really would have held, $2,000. If you would have had a really good entry, but just one contract, one trade, one contract. Say that again, one contract, one trade, or go even smaller, go micros, right? You could do half that by trading micros and maybe only make $1,000, but you do that without having to manage the trade, without having to actively look at it and freak out about price action because the actual leverage that you're using is so small and the time span that you're looking for your profit target is so big that it actually doesn't matter if it goes against you by 50 points. The trade can go against you by 50 points without actually breaking your trade thesis and netting you your ultimate price target. And that's the way that you got to trade, guys. That's the way that we trade in our Discord. I know it's not exciting or sexy as maybe some of the things that other people are saying, or even like the clickbait titles of some of my videos even. A real trader, this is how real traders trade. Then you leverage into this, right? This is a high probability trade. Depending on the size of the account and the amount of risk that you can actually afford, you can make however money you want to make on this, right? So the trade is the trade. My philosophy with trading, guys, is first you identify the trade, and the trade is either I think it's going to go up 5 points, I think it's going to go up 10 points, whatever it is, right? So there's you're essentially saying I think the market is going to move from here to there. That's the trade. You can make however much money you want from that, right? Truly, you can make however much money you want from that. One of the coolest concepts and something that I've really taken to heart from Lance over at S&B Capital, successful trader, is leveraging and changing your position sizes based off your confidence, right? And that confidence should be based off of like some metrics or some data, but essentially it comes down to confidence, right? So if there's an A setup, if there's a trade that I really am very, very confident is going to hit, then I can put in 4 or 5 contracts, 10 contracts. You can 10x your money. Now, you have to be able to eat that risk. If those 10 contracts would wipe you out if it goes against you, that's not a trade you're allowed to take. You're not allowed to do that trade, guys. You can't do that trade. Stick to the small amount. You'll make a lot of money really fast. You have a small account, couple grand, $100 a day is a great target. $50 a day is a great target. Do that, grow it. You'll double or triple your account literally in like a few months if you just go for $100, because most people are losing money. You have to remember. So if you make $100 every day for 10 days, you just made $1,000. Do it again, you made $2,000, and you just made $2,000 inside of a month, right? That's a lot of money. You have to remember, guys, put all these things in perspective. $2,000, times 12 is $24,000 in your pocket. So never forget the value of money. Easy when you're online, you're looking at things that I post, other people post, and you have to realize that money comes in waves, and sometimes it comes in lump sums. And just ride the wave. Eventually, you'll hit a little. I don't know. You'll get some win in your sales. You know what I'm trying to say. You'll get your big hit. Your big hit will come, but you have to earn it, and you have to not blow up. The worst thing that happens, that I see that happens to a lot of people, is they burn up, or they get smoked, right, in this first part of the day, and then they finally get the read, but they've blown up their account, right? So they get smoked in this price action, then they finally get the read, like, oh yeah, this is a great long, but you're so red on the day that you can't even hold this trade. You're psychologically demoralized, or worse, you've blown up your account. And so now you miss the big trade because you were messing around, in all this chop and not being patient and waiting for the trade to come to you. So wait for the trade to come to you, be patient, and you can get these really big trades that allow you to completely ignore the trailing threshold. That's how I've passed every single account that I've done, is literally just by going for trades on higher time frames. I'm telling you guys, you can hit some insane trades, especially if you're trading in Q. You can make just wait for a 100-point trade. Just wait for it. Every time you see a 100-point trade, put one contract on, you'll get $2,000. And you're not going to blow up. You're just not going to blow up your account. And you can do that on Top Step, whatever the account is, right? It truly is a better way to trade. When you put on a trade, you want to feel like you should be able to go outside, go on vacation. And that's the way I recommend for newer traders in particular, until you have a nest egg and a cushion. So that was a trade that I really wanted to identify, was these bottom wicks on the 30-minute. Definitely look at this, journal this, remember this, write it down. If you're not journaling, you need to journal. I have free journal templates on my WAP page, which links to the Discord. So I'll just show you what that looks like. We just go to wap.com/tradeedge. Come here. There's the trader access. There's a 3-day free trial. So if you sign up for this, you get 3 days free. We live stream in there every single day. We call out our trades every single day. I know people want the call outs. That's not really what we're about, but we do it because I know y'all want it. This will more than pay for itself if you actually listen to what we say. And then there's free journals right here. Go this, and then the journals are in Notion. So I'll hit get access to the journals, and this should bring me to my journal links. And yeah, and there's two different links here as well. So we'll open this up, boom, bam, and have a trading journal, right? So definitely utilize that. Spent time making this for you guys. It's free. It's for you. Trying to be as helpful as I can. In any case, my name's Forrest. I invest stuff. You should too. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Peace.